needless to say, it's been a turbulent period of time from a trade policy perspective, with lots of twists and turns and head fakes, threats, and actual tariffs imposed. So let's discuss the main questions that we're receiving from our clients. But I think as a base case, what we're penciling in that will have, in terms of tariff actions that will have more longevity, include the 10% baseline across the board tariff. That is something that President Trump has been talking about for years in terms of helping to rectify the trade deficit. We also think that these sectoral tariffs, the tariffs on things like aluminum and steel, automobiles, as well as forthcoming sector tariffs on semiconductors, on pharmaceuticals, those are likely to stick around as well and remain. And then also higher tariffs on China. We think that higher tariff level has durability just around the politics of China, given the previous relationship that the president has had on trade policy with China. Something that might be underappreciated by the market is just how long-standing and deep-seated these views are for the president. And as a result, we believe that trade policy uncertainty will continue for the duration of his administration. Now, again, we do think that this very heightened tariff level will likely decrease as there are negotiations and possible trade deals that are secured with our varying trading partners. But we do believe that Trump is committed to what he said on the campaign trail, which is to use tariffs both as a means to an end, to increase leverage with our trading partners to get better deals for the United States, but again, also as an end to themselves. As a rule of thumb, kind of a broad approximation, if you will, for every % increase in the effective tariff rate, we expect about 0.1% headwind to growth and a similar upward pressure on inflation, meaning that if we did see a 20% increase on the effective tariff rate and that stuck, you could potentially see a 2% headwind to GDP growth, as well as a 2% upward pressure on inflation. Now, that's in sort of a steady state and a silo, and there will be some cross currents that we'll talk about that may mitigate any sort of economic headwind. I think that the answer here is that it is very unlikely that Congress takes away the authority for President Trump to impose these tariffs. Now, that theoretically is possible, but the reality is that not only would a bill have to pass both chambers of Congress, but it will probably be vetoed by the president. And that means that in order to override that veto, you would need 2/3 or 67% of the House and the Senate. That seems very unlikely. The other potential source of pushback is from the judiciary, from the courts. There, we may see some traction. The president is using a pretty extraordinary use of what's called IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. This statute from 1977 has never been used for tariffs before, and we've already seen some cases filed in the courts to try to stop the president from using this. Even if we do see pushback from the courts, the president has many other authorities at his disposal to advance his overall trade policy agenda, which again includes higher tariffs. As many folks know, the Trump tax cuts on the individual side from 2017 all expire at the end of 2025. We don't expect those to expire. We expect Congress to extend those. That by itself is not necessarily stimulative, but where we could see some additional stimulus is if and when Congress passes a broader kind of additional tax cuts in addition to the extension. So all in, you could see a more stimulative tax bill passing the Congress, partly in response to this trade policy uncertainty. So again, these cross currents we think are going to be really important for folks as they think about the overall impact on the macroeconomy for both 2025 and 2026.